What's up? What's up? What's up? Sport card collectors and investors. Welcome to Hoops and Cards. I am Gary, your host. Guys, it is a great time to be a fan of the NBA. So much exciting stuff happening. You don't have to know that the Bulls and Sixers went to double overtimes last night to have me tell you this is an important time of year where contenders and pretenders are showing their true colors. When teams are rising to the occasion, and a guy like Julius Randle last night can go off for 56, 57 points and still lose a game. I don't understand. This is March Madness. In fact, first of all, guys, collectors and investors in basketball cards, thank you for finding and listening to our show. Hoops and Cards as a podcast has been around for a couple of years. We do several theme shows on a regular basis. We do Basketball Cards 101 episodes for those of you that are brand new to this or just starting out again, or have a friend that you want to like educate in the hobby. That's always a good thing to have a resource like those podcasts. But another theme show that we do is 5 buys, players or products, things to look for in the card market moving forward. I love resources that help tell me what's happened lately or what's happened in the past, like Market Movers. And I listened to some other sports card podcasts. Thankful for Lucas Tigers and Bronze. Thankful for Card Talk. Thank you for the guys over there at Pack to the Future. You guys are incredible. Cards to the Moon. I don't know what stuff you listen to, everybody. Sports Card Investor Podcasts. Sports Card Strategy Show. One of my all-time favorites was on with Paul Hickey there this morning to talk about the NBA and players, really playoffs or sell-offs. And that's the season that we're in. We talk about this time of year being a make or break year for a lot of NBA teams, but also for me as a card collector and investor. There are players who are going to have big moments in the next 6 to 8 weeks as playoff series and playoff games bring out sometimes the best in a player or a team. And that's when people want to buy their cards. That's when they are super popular and making good on some of their potential. So today, you guys, after we've spent a few episodes talking about Eastern Conference bubble teams, players that may or may not be relevant in a month, and then Western Conference, that was the Wild Wild West episode that actually dropped this morning. So maybe you're listening to this a couple days from now. We record these 5 buys episodes, and I wanted to talk with you about 5 buys that are obvious. And when I say obvious, they're going to be names that you all know, that you all follow, see highlights of. It's not their first time in the playoffs, not the first time we would say, man, that guy's cards, those are going to be hot, but 5 obvious guys who have the chance to take their careers and their teams to the next level. And really, it looks like at some point, one of these players is going to win this year's NBA championship. I've written down 6 names that I think are obvious. So it's actually 6 buys. It doesn't ring as true. 6 picks, maybe 6 dudes, 6 ballers. And those for you that like to invest in players or collect any of these players because you love them, great. But if you like to invest in players who, man, not just the big moment in May or June, but they're going to have great careers. They're in the midst of building Hall of Fame legacies, these 5 players that I've mentioned. And quite honestly, a lot of them are in their prime or entering their prime. So we're going to be here for a few years talking about these names. We have been already with the first guy I'm going to mention is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Dude is on fire. One of the 3 finalists in my mind for the MVP. Card values there for him at all price points, not just rookie cards, but with these players, if you're going for the top player, then go for the top grade, a PSA 10 card of Giannis, or a PSA or a BGS 9.5, SGC 9.5. Like, go for a great card that people are going to want in a month. Look at every price point, Card Ladder, Market Movers app. I use Market Movers app a lot lately to price compare and to pick. You can pick 6 cards or 8 cards and look at their charts. Look at what all the different Giannis cards have done over the last 3 months. And you can even go back to like 3 years and see, okay, when this card hit its peak, what does the PSA 10 Prism of Giannis Antetokounmpo from 2013 and 14, what does that do when the market gets excited about a finals run, Bucks in 6? Giannis is an easy pick for this list. But I've also got 4 other obvious players whose teams are at the top of their conferences. If Philly was in the West, they'd be number 1 in the West with that record. So I like Joel Embiid as a buy. Right now, I know centers aren't always the best sellers or the most popular, but Embiid could win the MVP unless he misses any more games. Dude, don't you dare load manage. Don't you dare sit out and then whine about not getting the MVP again. I can't stomach it. I know you're a dominant player. We all know Joel Embiid is a dominant player, but if all you've got is, hey, I sat out another 20 games this year and I'm cranky faced about not getting it, guess what? You're not getting it again. The Joker is the other big man buy right now as Denver's healthy. They're going to finish with the 1 seed in the West. They've got other guys that can step up and score. I don't know if you've seen Michael Porter Jr. or Jamal Murray or Aaron Gordon lately, but that team is their team. They're consistent over the course of the season. Clearly the best in the West. It seems like the other talented teams have issues. Alexa, stop. You ever have that happen? Alexa, you set an alarm for something and you forgot that you said it. Well, that's what's just happened to me. Alexa runs our house. So
sure about that.
Okay, maybe she doesn't run the house. But Giannis, Jason Tatum, the Joker, Joel Embiid, and Luka Doncic. Now, if you don't like Luka because Dallas is on the bubble, I get it. But dude is known for big scoring performances in the playoffs. And with him and Kyrie, maybe there's a version of this where they're just saving their mojo. They're saving their best performances for when they know it matters in May, against the Clippers, against the Nuggets, against the Memphis Grizzlies, when there is no answer for what Kyrie can do. There is no answer for what Luka Doncic can do. I just don't love teams that think they can all of a sudden pick up in a month and play like world beaters, because you've got other teams that they're ready for it too. Memphis going to be ready. Ja Morant was almost on this list. Little bit of a risk right now with what he is coming back off of this and his decision making just as a human. But those 6 guys I like: Giannis, Tatum, Jokic, Embiid, Luka, and Ja, long-term dudes that are probably all headed for the Hall of Fame, right? What can I say? There are still card bargains in each of there's not as much love for the centers. You need to know that as a 101 thing. There's not as much chance that you're going to be able to resell and make money on centers, but one of them is going to win the MVP, I think. They could wind up meeting each other in the finals. And I don't know if you remember what Embiid did to Joker in January when they went head to head, but it wasn't pretty. Embiid was awesome. And at the same time, I don't know if Nikola Jokic really cares. He's like, I can step up and dominate when I feel like it. And some random weekend in January, guess what? Joker's been doing it every week of the entire season, and he's going to do it in May and June. So I think there's a gear for Denver that they're ready to take that leap. But those are the obvious plays in the 5 buys. After the break, I'm going to come at you with some not so obvious guys to chase, or the guys to think about that I'm looking at and buying myself. And then there's some step ups, some emerging, rising stars that have a chance to be super relevant or super popular as buy and sells in May that you might want to add to your, I just listed this on eBay for sale list, because you've got those players cards and you want to sell, strike while the iron's hot, sell while the popularity and the big night for a player drives up their card value. The eBay searches, what are people searching for? What are they buying? Think about those things if you want to sell, right? And list them accordingly. So the 5 obvious ones are Giannis, Tatum, Jokic, Embiid, and Luka. And let's get a quick break. We'll be back with some not so obvious fellas.